Okay, this is part 3. Yeah, part 2 went longer than anticipated, so this will probably be an hour long. Hopefully not. I'm not going to cover the whole book because you really need to buy it for yourself. I know it's discontinued, but like I said, opportunities may avail themselves. If you're looking at this, I definitely would go and get it. And that being said, let's pick up from where we left off. We've been introduced to a series of occultic activity that have ended in the death of 4 people, found as 2 individuals and then a couple, piles of ash, and in the ashes were found obsidian matches, which we'll find out are the calling cards to a demon called Blackfire. And so where we left off was that Father Patrick Retter has visited the home of one of the people who were killed in an apparent state of possession, and who either set themselves on fire or just, caught on, not self-immolation, immolation, but spontaneous combustion. We're not entirely sure about what exactly happened, but it's not necessary to know. So we found out some clues. It's Halloween day, we assume, or maybe the day to come. But when we pick up, we're outside of a library where he found a clue that there was possibly a meeting going on. And Father Retter, of course, meets 2 librarians. And they're all dressed up, theoretically, in costume for because it's Halloween. And I got to say that, Tim, good on you. We have two different lovely ladies that are working the desk at the library. I'm surprised there aren't more people. Well, hold on. Here's a small child, I guess, that was there to visit. And again, I got to remind everyone that this is a town of less than 12,000 people, that we got some crazy librarian. I don't know what you're trying to say about librarians, but I find it fascinating. They're both dressed, well, as witches, and Father Retter is going to investigate to say, hey, what's going on here? And we find out that they're going to be having a party. In fact, they mistake his outfit for one as being a costume until he reveals that he actually is a priest. And then we have this strange coincidence, maybe explains their confusion, that late in the night, again, it's 7:28. What's this kid doing? Well, maybe he was abandoned. We'll find out. Actually, we won't. But it just so happens that another fellow in a priest costume, or another priest, as we'll find out, is walking past, and he says, sorry, pal, nice costume. Oh, it's not a costume, which is the echo of what Father Retter said earlier. Happy Halloween, Father. And so we find that there is another father, but of course it's not the kind you want to know. And this is not like the bad Catholic priests that make all the news, at least one assumes not, but this is an occultic black priest. So time goes by, and Father Retter is in communication with Detective Chua. And then as he's hanging out, sort of trying to just, 11:45 at night, we'll find out here. He's just ultra curious. Why did this guy who, caught on fire and died, who was worshiping Santa Muerte, don't you love my Spanish? He's trying to find out what's happening at this library. And then he sees a procession that's happening. And our 2 librarians, or at least one of them, has gone out and is opening the door for these black figures in apothecary masks, or what you call the crow mask that you would see back in the days of plague. And then we find out that Charlotte is in a robe, and amongst them processing into the library well after hours. Now, here's one of those things I'm going to take an aside, and I got to say, going back to Tim Lim's art and economy of storytelling, so we only meet about 10 different people in this book, which I think is really good. It helps keep people in mind. And I will say that there is, we're going to go to the back here real quick. Some really cool artwork. I guess these were other proposed covers, but I'm glad they were included. In fact, I would wish that more of this stuff would have made it in, but the vagaries of printing and how much money was available. But I'm glad that we had these breakups and things. Beautiful art, really nicely done. And Tim, good on you. I believe this is your work when you're doing some character design. There's a lot of attention going into it. This is kind of not a holy Bible, but a Bible, as they would say, of your characters, so that you can anticipate how to draw them and to make them iconic. And for the most part, I really like Chua here. And man, Tim, I'm sorry, I gotta call you out on a couple of things. Again, it's not my book, not my call, but I thought you did a fantastic job of defining Chua here. I would say the same thing with Father Retter, and these are explorations of the costume for the Order of Soulfinders, which we'll come to find out is this group of ex-military that became Catholic priests and are going to become this order of exorcists, which is modeled after a Marine Corps outfit. Sorry, the shine. Again, like duller paper would help. But here's what I would cite as a very plausible, if it's a small town, so a little more comfortable police outfit. But there's a badge here. One of the most iconic things to tell who and what a police officer is usually found with a badge. And as we go through here, we get introduced to Detective Chua. And nicely drawn, well drawn. I get all of that, that's fine. Where's his badge? You took the time to draw like a Sabre radio handset, which I can appreciate. That's a nice detail. You even took the time to draw the squirrely handset wire, but there's no badge. He looks like a groundskeeper. I'm sorry, but all it really needs is a badge and maybe like a rectangle for a nameplate or something like that. I mean, maybe he's after hours, but if he's after hours off duty, why has he got his handset on? And I'd say the same thing too. Just kind of going back is maybe this is a little nitpicky, but that's what. Again, I'm saying all this not to crack on anyone, but I really believe that this is a great and important work, and it's necessary for the preservation of the art form. That if we can take the next little strides, and I know I'm gonna catch every bit of flack for doing this when my book comes out. And please hold me to a standard, because this is for everybody. I just wish that there was like a police, on the back of his tack vest. Again, 12,000 people in this town. We got officers. What's going on that you need tack vests and stuff? And again, nice radio handset, curly Q wire. But the only badge I see ever drawn in this book is on the hats of the guys in the background. I know it's a bother to do that stuff, but take the time. It would improve things greatly, and I think make the world feel more better rounded out. That was just something that needed to be said. Sorry, not sorry. No, it's. You do such good work, and like I said, coming back here, this looks so great. I wish that this amount of detail was just carried through. Obviously, you're a very good and accomplished artist. So anyway, aside on Chua, that was just one of my bigger complaints, and hopefully that gets addressed going forward, but you know better than I do. One thing I will say, so Charlotte. So last we left off, not trying to skip ahead, but we see Charlotte being led in this procession. She is a Sunday school teacher. That's how we get introduced to her. And the hairstyle, I think, for the most part, sort of carries along. But with the amount of definition that's given in the character of Father Retter, and I think most successfully in Chua, I just wish that she was somehow a little better, more specific, easier to sort of track as a character. How you would go about doing that, I mean, that's kind of up to you. I think the hairstyle is kind of there, but I will say that it changes, and her face is kind of like anyone, their styles of making faces, and a lot of the females share some of that. She's got red hair. Okay. Well, anyway, that was just one of the things. We get to meet her, and visually, I guess there's enough definition, but one of the things too in the storytelling is we find out that she's under the thrall of this cult. And Father Retter, when he sees her being processed, is like, whoa, this is really out of character for our Sunday school teacher. So he does seemingly break the law. So I don't know what to say. He should be confessed, I guess, as well. And that happens off page, I'm sure. But he breaks into the library for the greater good. And in good storytelling fashion, he's watching the events of, I'm not entirely sure if this is just supposed to be black language, I guess. There are moments of Latin. I never studied Latin. And unfortunately, I can't look it up because I don't know necessarily how to go through the trouble of reverse English to Latin if I don't have enough of the grounding in it. But anyway, you can figure out most of the stuff. There was some Greek as well, the neklos or whatever, which was tattooed on the guy who practiced Santa Muerte. His name is Smith, so we know he's not Greek, so that's an oddity. Or, I don't even know if this is supposed to be a nod to Aramaic, excuse me. Had to hit pump the brakes on that one a little bit.